Also wanted to ask you about developed agents. So I'm sure there might be a lot of developed agents that watch this at the moment.
Yep.
How can that person level up?
There was at a stage in my life, or in real estate, was that between 400 to 450 GCI, I kept hitting it. I kept, I'm exhausted, I'm spent. So there's only a certain amount of hours and certain amount of GCI you can be writing on your own.
Right.
Now, for you to go to that next level, you need to put on a PA. And once I put on a PA, I basically just went to that next level. I started to write 700, 800, 900. Unfortunately, I never got to that $1 million mark. But if you can try and leverage off another person by obviously showing them, having your process and structures in place, training that person up to run the buying management side of things, I found that basically took me from here to the next level.
Right.
So leveraging off a PA is definitely something, because as I said, you can only do so much hitting 450, probably 500, but then mate, you're spent. So to then go to that next level, well then you need to introduce another person, whether, as I said, whether there's an admin person or a buyer's agent, depends on how you want to do it. But again, try and leverage off the results you're doing as well. Get to know the area, get involved in the community, advertise yourself whenever you can. Know your numbers as well. Do keep mentioning, be disciplined, but have your ideal week set out, week in, week out. Do your cold callings only in the mornings. Block out 3 hours in the morning. Your 9 to 9:45, 10 to 10:45, 11 to 11:45, and 12 to 12:45. Then go after to your lunch. Do your appointments in the afternoon. Have your clean database as well. Get their email addresses, get their full names, the right spelling. Send out. I've got anniversary. You probably hear me do my anniversary calls. Send out anniversary cards every single year. I'm doing my 11, 12-year anniversary cards.
Crazy.
Which is also a repeat business. Like, build yourself a good database that you're not necessarily relying on the office leads.
Yeah.
You basically want repeat business, and that's my bread and butter. My repeat business is amazing, and as I said, I've got some really good loyal clients. But again, like I said, at the same time as well, you want to make sure that you nurture and you provide as much value as possible to your own database and your clients.
Yeah, and I see Naz doing that every single day when we're working. Obviously, it's tough through COVID at the moment, but when we were before, you were doing that every single day, and I looked up to that.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Well, and that clearly just goes to show, as I said, is that I've been in the industry for 13, 14 years, and I still prospect. So at the end of the day, I don't door knock, because obviously I've got a healthy database at the moment that I don't necessarily need to door knock. But at the same time as well, I'm always adding new contacts. My prospecting now is all about networking, lunches.
Yes.
That's how I'm prospecting, as opposed to just cold calling. And then, but at the same time as well, touching base to about, at one stage I think I had about 2,000 contacts on my database, which I basically gave out to you guys. Yeah. And I'm now running with about 750 clients at the moment, which is very manageable. Of course. And at the same time as well, gives me a time to prospect as a sales agent, but also grow the office and look at building a team in the office as well.
I want to touch on that as well, about how you've been able to grow. But before I do that, I want to touch on about bringing on the PA. A lot of people probably are at that stage where they're at that 1, 2, 3 and they want to jump up. How can that person find a suitable PA? How can that person find a motivated PA? Because I think that's probably a lot more difficult being said than done, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure, definitely. I guess at the end of the day, being salespeople, we're not really good at training or anything like that. We're good at training ourselves, but I think it's very important that you have a structure for your PA. Look, you're never going to sort of know, he's going to be a good PA. As I said, I've come across a lot of people or some kids that have come in and they've given me everything. I want to be in real estate, love real estate. I can't see myself doing anything else, and they've rocked up at 9:05. The next day comes in, it rocks up at 9:15. It's just like, so I think attitude's everything for me. I think trying to pick the right one is very hard. Trying to look at any bad resumes is very hard. You hardly even see bad resumes. So what we do now is we generally sort of look at pretty much similar to the way we sort of got you on board. You'll have a 2-week. It's just basically a 2-week training program, just to see what your attitude's like. See what exactly, if you can work with us and we can work with you.
Suitable.
See what's suitable, So generally a week to 2 weeks will gauge as to realistically how this person is. And then once you've basically made that decision, you basically want to have a structure in place for that PA, okay, and identify what his or her role is. So making sure that what each person's responsibilities are. So whether it's putting out boards. So I try to I used to give my PA non-dollar productive stuff to do. So, putting out boards, putting up sold signs or sold stickers, also doing meeting bank valuers, final inspections, settlements, all that. So all the non-dollar productive stuff, PA would do. But as long as basically everything's outlined, he's giving him his big farming area, how is prospecting, so what his call out, what his scripts are and dialogue going to be, so whether they're cold calls, letter drops, have his deals all set ready to go, or have mine ready to go, business cards ready to go. So
very structured.
You need to structure it, because at the end of the day, you don't want your PA just sitting around thinking, oh, what do I do all day? Yeah. So have a structure, have a calendar. Basically, make sure you share the calendars as well. But again, 9 to 12, you generally do the prospecting on calls. 12 to 1, your lunch, and then from 1 to about 5, 6, you basically prospecting, door knocking, letter dropping, being out and about. And then after 6 o'clock, he's coming to the office and doing all your admin work and setting yourself up for the next day.
Yeah, and that's worked so well for me. In implementing that structure, being very disciplined with my time, it works wonders. So once you're at that level of being a director, we spoke about your career, how you got to where you are today. Once you're at the director part, how do you sustain that, and how do you grow your business from there?
For me, I still love listing and selling, doing auctions and so forth as well. So I focus predominantly from Monday through to Thursday is predominantly me as a sales agent, and helping you guys as well. But the Fridays is more so, okay, what do I do to improve the business, catch up with all the staff. So that's one day I'll look at basically growing the business, doing one-on-ones with you guys, looking at where we can improve and so forth as well. Having sort of things in black and white to make sure that, I guess, me being a sales agent, because at the end of the day, although we're all sales agents, you don't want to compete with the young guys either. So you don't want to feel like you're giving. So for me, I look at basically my database. Only any office leads that come in will basically go to the person that's in that BDA and so forth as well. So I think it's very important that to get a good, or to create a good culture in your office, you need to make sure everything's in black and white, everything's transparent. Allocate your BDAs to every person in the office. So any calls that do come in, they know exactly where to go, where it does go, or which sales agent it goes to. So, and then at the same time as well, we find that everyone helps each other in this office as well.
Yeah, it's great.
The database as well. No one gets access to each other's person's database. And as I said, I find that a lot of people that, I've got a lot of contacts on my data. So any other sales agent said, look, can I have that contact? Yeah, great. Yeah, I'll put them over to you. As long as I haven't got that real connection or that real conversation that I've had with that client. So it's very important that, as I said, as a director, that although I'm still a sales agent, you need to lead by example. You need to lead for the rest to follow.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the sustain part. So you've done that well. How do you plan on growing the business moving forward? What are your...
Yeah, so I guess growing the business is obviously getting your team together. So at the moment, we've got 6 or 7 sales guys, train them up as much as possible. So whether it's listing presentations, whether it's scripts and dialogues, whether it's how do we close. So I try to emphasise on training, because I guess you're only as good as your staff as well, as an office. And as I said, it's taken us a little bit longer than expected to grow where we want it to be. But again, for us, we still want to take 20% market share in the Coburg area, in the Moreland area as well. So it's very important for us that I keep investing in you guys, and then hopefully one day you guys become young leaders and young entrepreneurs. And that comes back to my biggest why factor. Why I do this is pretty much to see you guys hopefully take over this office, you guys be young entrepreneurs and young leaders, and hopefully you'll probably be in this position and my son will be in your position. And it's just it's revolving, so you need to have a succession plan in place, which I've made it quite clear to you guys is what I'm planning on doing for the next 5 or 10 years. But at the same time as well, that's how I'm looking to grow in the office, is obviously, train up obviously all the staff, bought our new premises. We'll relocate next year. We've got to probably now focus a bit more on property management as a salesperson. Don't really focus on that too much on, but I think that's going to be my next project, is really focusing on the property management team, because as I said, I think we've got the sales guys pretty much
Yeah, it's a
sorted.
great team there.
It's just a matter of now you guys taking it to the next level. And again, the longer you guys are in the industry, I can't see why you couldn't be in my position in a few years' time.
Absolutely, man.